can you explain a bit more about your model?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. So we're a perpetual private investment vehicle. So unlike your typical private equity fund, which tends to have a start and an end date, we don't have that. So as a result, we don't have a requirement to sell our businesses within a certain time period. In fact, one of our companies, Seawind International, has been part of our portfolio for almost 11 years. And the reason why we're able to do this is, as I said, we're a perpetual fund, but we also are not levered, meaning that we only use cash and equity when we purchase these businesses. So we don't have to pay off debt within a certain time period. We keep the balance sheet of these companies pretty flexible so that they can keep investing for growth. So as a result, we're very growth oriented. You don't typically see somebody in my role in a private equity or a venture capital fund.
Yes, absolutely true. And it's definitely an interesting model, which is benefiting across at all the levels. Yes. So Uplers, we understand the importance of building strong teams, especially for growth level startups. In your experience with B2B companies in the lower middle market, we would love to know from your journey on some do's and don'ts when it comes to hiring. So in TideRock, how do you approach hiring?
Sure. We approach hiring in two different levels. So within the holding company, we have a growth team, which is also unlike your typical private equity or venture capital firm. Our growth team supports our portfolio companies in a fractional way. So we're essentially a service organization within TideRock, and our job is to help our portfolio companies. That's the first level. So we hire for those roles, but we also hire at the portfolio company level. And this is more traditional. So typically when a private equity or a venture capital invests or acquires a business, they tend to hire new people that would serve as management leaders for those organizations. And they are developing the strategies and implementing them to drive growth for the business. So we do have both of those levels of hiring. At the TideRock level, because we are growing so fast, we need to be able to scale up or down depending on the needs of our portfolio companies. And this goes across all functions, from finance and accounting, from marketing, sales operations, talent acquisition, legal, and all other functions. And we are able to support our companies as they need it. And as you can imagine, our companies go through a cycle from when they get acquired all the way to when they might be exited from our portfolio. So we have to flow with those needs.
Interesting. Okay. So compared to traditional venture capital firms, what unique challenges do you face when building teams for your portfolio companies, especially in the lower middle market?
At the TideRock level, our goal is to be able to hire and get value really quickly. Because as I mentioned, we're supporting our portfolio companies, and currently we have 16 companies that we're supporting and continuing to grow. So we need to be able to move really quickly to identify the right talent and get them up to speed to be able to drive value.
Right. How does TideRock's experience and support structure help the acquired companies overcome scaling challenges and achieve sustainable growth?
Yeah, our investment thesis when we acquire companies and when we look for these companies often requires us to identify what we call artificial constraints. So artificial constraints are things that we can remove easily. And often that's through hiring talent, through implementing a system, through implementing outbound sales and marketing, which is why you have people like myself in the role. And so one of the first things that we do as soon as we acquire is we execute on these things, and it's part of our standard playbook. So our structure, which I talked about, our growth team, our structure it has been developed to really support that investment thesis. So as soon as a company joins the TideRock family, we mobilize everybody in our growth team, and we can get a company pretty much up to scale very, very quickly. so that we can realize that investment growth, right? So that then we can provide that yield to our investors within the next several quarters.
Great. And I believe right team is a combination of technical and cultural fitment. So knowing the impact the right teams can have on a company's growth, how do you help your portfolio companies in attracting and retaining the top talent?
It's a very difficult task, and I'm sure you see that across all of your clients. Our growth team includes an in-house full-time talent acquisition team. And all they do all day long is to recruit and retain this talent, right, across all levels, senior level, mid-level, lower level. So we actually have been building a database for the last 10 years of the types of people that we tend to have the right attributes that could join our companies. That's different at the Tide Rock level. So that's for the portfolio. At the Tide Rock level, we're always looking for talent because, as I said, we are growing so quickly, and we need to be able to bring talent in quickly with the right skills and experience that they can generate value right away. So for us, speed is of the essence. And then with that speed and the right talent gets us the effectiveness that we need right away, so we can bring investor dollars in, as well as profitability that we can then distribute back to our investors.
Great. And in this journey, do you find Uplers' matchmaking process aligned to this approach of finding the right talent? And if yes, how?
Yes. Uplers, model of being able to assess, have a database of talent, recruit from that database, and continue to add to it and hire very quickly for either full-time roles or part-time roles or project roles to deploy to our teams is really a great model that allows us to be able to scale and grow our team quickly, effectively, and so that we are always providing value not only to our investors but to our portfolio companies. Especially in marketing, where many of the roles can work remotely now, and skills are more and more critical. Technical skills are more and more critical to be able to create, manage, and optimize campaigns. Your model is really unique to be able to allow us to do that.
Right. So let's talk about how you future-proof the teams. Looking ahead, what emerging trends or skill sets do you see as crucial for talents to navigate the ever-changing B2B landscape?
Sure. One is the ability to optimize campaign programs and activities to deliver revenue, actual revenue and business growth to companies. Alongside that, there are a couple of marketing / technology trends that are really top of mind for everybody, and that's account-based marketing or account-based management, as well as AI and machine learning, and using language models and so forth to be able to deliver content in a more personalized scale that allows them to resonate better. So all of these things, I believe, are really, really important. But ultimately, the reason why they're important is we can now focus as marketers not just on developing the content, but on actually making sure that whatever we put out there delivers, dollars back to the company.
So how does Uplers help Tide Rock in identifying and acquiring top talents that can adapt and thrive in the future of the B2B market?
As we continue to scale and define new projects, and that includes in marketing as well as others, Uplers can help us in several ways. Uplers can help us get up and running quickly. Uplers can help us supplement our teams to allow us to scale up and down as needed. And you can also help us find people with the right skills, talent quickly, because you have a vetting system that enables us to be able to extend our reach. So I do think that you have a platform that could work.
One of our esteemed clients, we'll take this opportunity to know about your experience working with us. So what specific aspects of Uplers services impressed you the most?
I think the speed was what was most valuable to us. I believe that from the time we contacted you via email to the time we had somebody in seat, I think it was less than 3 weeks, maybe even 2. So that was really valuable for us because, as I said, that's really a huge part of our model, and to be able to accommodate that with your model was really helpful.
And would you recommend Uplers to other startups looking to build their teams? Why and why not?
Yes, I do. Uplers provides a great way to get up and running quickly and effectively without too much risk. In a startup environment or an environment of a business that just was acquired, there are so many different priorities that need to be accomplished. And trying to hire, train, and get somebody up and running is not really one of those priorities. So if there's a platform that allows you to be able to get up and running quickly, it's very valuable.
Right. Is there a specific example you can share on how Uplers helped you find the right and perfect team member?
As I mentioned, we needed somebody to fill a gap in email marketing for us, particularly with a marketing automation platform that we were not as familiar with. So there was a gap in our team, and then there were specific skills that we needed. We were using a contractor in the US prior to that, but that person took a full-time role and left us in a bind. So I contacted Uplers immediately once I found out, because I remembered you helping us build email templates in the past, and remember that you had talent resources that you could deploy. So I emailed our account rep on the template side and was connected with you guys. I believe we were on a phone call within 2 hours or 3 hours of that email. And you initiated the search, and our team member from our Uplers is right now a part of our team. He interacts very closely with everybody on our team and owns those email marketing campaigns from beginning to end. So marketing is in the middle of a lot of change right now, right? I talked about AI or machine learning and ChatGPT and all these tools. Marketing has become a lot more technical, and that's not really the traditional source of marketing talent. So I look forward to seeing more and more talent from Uplers that have those types of skills that we can use to up-level our teams and very quickly.
Great. I think this is done. This is done in a supersonic speed, just like our hiring.
Right.
Great, to the point interaction.
Great. Well, I know it's late for you as well, so.
And really, thank you, Candice. I think beyond all of these initiatives of engaging with you on different levels, I really feel there are many aspects we can collaborate and work together as a win-win. So happy to have you as a partner, as a client, and having that same, I would say, approach to hiring really helps us align with the goals equally.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your time, Candice. Finally, we could do it.